Today, we will be reading the story of Disney Princess, The Dragon Boat Race by Kathy McCullum. The Duanwu festival was quickly approaching. The celebration took place in China every spring on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month. Mulan's favorite part was the dragon boat race. Each spring, Mulan watched the boats from other villages race down the river. This year, Mulan wanted to do more than watch. Our village should enter the race, Mulan told her family. Her father agreed this would bring honor to their village, but her mother was worried. The village had never taken part before. Would they know what to do? Grandma Fa reminded them that Mulan had once never traveled beyond their village. There is first time for it. Mulan announced her idea to the village. The villagers were hesitant but excited to try something new. Mulan explained that they would learn just as the teams from other villages had learned. There's first time for everything. Outside the temple of the ancestors, Mulan asked Mushu to help choose what colors to paint the boat. It should be like me, of course, Mushu said. Together, Mulan and her teammates painted the boat to match Mushu's fiery red scales and orange belly. Mushu admired their handwork. It does sort of look like me, Mushu said. If not, quite as handsome. Practice began the next day. Mushu volunteered to be the drummer and had a lot of practice from banging a gong all these years. Mulan showed Mushu how to keep a steady rhythm for the team to follow. She clapped her hands. 1, 2, 3. Mushu thumped the drum. The villagers arced their paddle through the air to the beat. Soon they were paddling in unison. Mulan joined the team. As the sweep, it was her job to steer with a long oar pushed into the water. At first, the boat zigged and zagged, but then the villagers heard Mushu's steady wham, wham, wham. They followed the beat and glided through the water. Finally, it was the day of the race. Mulan and her team lined up their boat with the others, excited and eager for the race. When the race began, the dragon boats zoomed off. Each drummer pounded out a different rhythm. As the other boats whizzed past, Mulan's team struggled to hear Mushu's steady beat. Mulan tried to steer as the waves from the other teams slapped against the sides of their boat. She clutched her oar fearfully as the boat tipped this way and that. The drum bounced out of Mushu's hands and into the water. He reached out to grab it and fell in. Splash! Mulan helped her teammates fish Mushu out of the river. He raced back to his spot, but the team didn't notice their boat heading for the reeds. They crashed. The villagers slumped in their seats. How could they finish the race now? We can't give up, Mulan told her team. She knew quitting would not bring honor to their village. They had lost their drum, but they still had their paddles, their boat, and their team. It's true. We have never paddled without a drum, Mulan said. But there's a first time for everything, and there's one thing we can do that isn't a first. Work together. Mulan reminded the villagers that together they had built and painted a dragon boat. Together they had trained for the race. Together we can get to the finish line, she cheered. And I can still give you a steady beat, Mushu said. He clapped his hands. The villagers smiled and lined up their paddles, ready to row. Together, Mulan and her teammates steered the boat back onto the river. The villagers pushed their paddles through the water to Mushu's beat again and again until they reached the finish line. The crowd on shore greeted Mulan's team with cheers. Although they were the last dragon boat to arrive, they were the first to complete the race without a drum. That night, Mulan and her teammates and the rest of the village found another thing they could do together. Celebrate! That's the end of the story. Bye for now. Keep watching our channel Pixie Dixie Creations for more such interesting Disney stories. Bye bye.